Welcome back to Kind of Stubborn, episode 4. We made it. They didn't think we'd make it to episode 4. We got a fresh Polar Seltzer. Hold on. Whoa. This is an ASMR podcast. How are we? What's going on? Happy Tuesday. Good morning. Good evening. I'm blessed to be back with the strawberry watermelon. I was cursed, some would say cursed, with the decision that I made of pink apple. Was it pink apple and lemon? Yucky, gross. Got a whole pack of 12 of them, had to suffer through it, but we're still here. We made it. We're back on the strawberry watermelon. Grapefruit's good too. Also, I think it's lime and ginger or something is fine. But so far, especially for the summer, I don't think strawberry watermelon is for the winter. Strawberry watermelon for the summer. God, a Polar sponsorship would be so sick. Okay. Wow, what a week, huh? First of all, thank you. A couple things, actually. Thank you for everyone, all the love on the last episode. Thank you to everyone who is now here. Got a ton of subscribers from the popularity, micro popularity, 10,000, 9.7 thousand. I'm not going to give myself more credit than I deserve. On the last episode, the Lumberlend episode, thank you. Huge success of an episode. It was really fun to it was the first time I kind of like vocalized and talked about a lot of those things. And I got a lot of nice messages from some people. A lot of solid feedback, and like I said, a lot of new people who are now have found the channel. So welcome. I'll tell you this: it's a very simple thumbnail, very simple title, but I've had that in my back pocket for like 2 years. You know, I'm not saying it's like the title is "What Happened in Lumberlend." Doesn't take a rocket science to come up with that, but like, I had that in my back pocket for a while, and I was like, I didn't know if it was gonna be a podcast episode or like a YouTube think piece sort of thing, which I thought would have been too much and too serious. I kind of liked the casual conversation of what it was, but yeah, that's been kind of in the chamber for the better part of 2 years, and I finally found the appropriate time to kind of let it go, and bada bing, bada boom. So welcome. Again, I think I might set up an email for this because like the comments are great, but I feel like there's something different about having a separate email for people that want to like send in questions or comments or whatever that are with the attempt to be on the show specifically. So if that's in the description, that's in the description. I'd imagine something like kindofstubborn@gmail.com. That sounds like it's got to be taken. No? This far into the internet, this far into Gmail accounts, kindofstubborn@gmail would have to be taken. I don't know. Regardless, we'll move on from that. Did I have anything to say about that? Everything I said was in it. The TikTok. TikTok really, really went crazy. I think it's under 500,000, but I think I don't mean for this whole intro of this podcast, be like, see how good I did last time? Last episode was so good. 471,000. Wow. All right, we'll move on. We got a few things to talk about. Where do we want to go? Let's start out with like less of recommendations, but more of just like what I've been on to this week. And I don't think these are all popular like albums and potentially books, so I don't think I'm going to be putting anyone on necessarily, but I'm sure the beverage breaks won't get old. 3 things I'm listening to. New Clairo album, Charm. Really, really good. Very like soft bedroom pop, but it's like kind of graduated bedroom pop from like where she was to like a more fully fledged thing. Juna's kind of the one that's kind of going, it seems like. I think it might be my favorite one. I haven't, of these 3 albums that I'm going to list, so one I've spent the least time with so far, but I want to spend more time with it. You know what sucks though? Oh, Sexy to Someone. I didn't like the Sexy to Someone as a single. In the context of the album, I like it a lot more. Nomad's good. Echo is really good. Pier 4 is really good. Yeah, I need to spend more time with it. But what sucks, I had this whole plan laid out. The only video game console I have is an Xbox 360. And I'm too broke to... Well, two things. One, I'm too broke to buy like a PS5 or an Xbox, whatever the fuck is the new Xbox name. But also, I'm hearing rumors of the next consoles coming out at the end of this year. I don't know if that's true. I don't have my finger on the pulse of the gaming industry as much as I used to, and back then I really didn't used to either. But I don't know. But I miss the couch gaming. I miss so I have a PC. I have a gaming PC that it's only a gaming PC for the sense of it can handle editing like big files. That's the only reason I have a quote unquote gaming PC. But I want to, I don't know. I kind of miss gaming. I like the social aspect of it. All my friends do it, but it's like, I'm so adverse to sitting kind of uncomfortably in my computer chair at my desk, like sitting upright playing a game. You know, I even tried that on Twitch, which wasn't a big fan of it. But I miss just like chilling out on the couch, and you can have the headphones on and talk, and you're comfy, and you can lay down and, you know, have a snack and da-da-da. The solution, I kind of talked about this on the Patreon a little bit. Stash Club Patreon. I'm already I edit a lot of stuff on this MacBook. It's a surprisingly MacBook Air with an M2 chip in it. This is all going somewhere. It's all going full circle back to the Clairo album, I promise. MacBook Air M2 chip works great. Haven't tried editing 4K footage on it, but every single Stash Club video and every single Mustache Bros video and all Lumberlend videos were edited on this. Not all the Lumberlend videos, all the ones I did. Were edited on this. It's great. But point being, I switch all the connects from every time I go to edit or because I make music on my PC. It's just kind of where I have all my files and my software and everything. So, and also this doesn't have the most memory, and dealing with memory cards is annoying. But anyway, so I'm already doing a thing where every time I'm using one different, I go under, I switch out the keyboard and the mouse USB and the display, and I do all that thing. So I'm already used to kind of unplugging and moving stuff around, but I'm thinking get a little dolly cart and put the PC on the dolly cart. And then whenever I want to play a game, just kind of wheel that sucker in, plug it into the TV. Boom. Now I got a standing gaming console. I just need to get... I don't know if they have wireless controllers. I'm sure they have wireless controllers for PC. But I got a long-ass controller, a third-party bullshit, controller. Plug that into the USB. Hopefully it makes it all its way to the couch. And then you just got to use the mouse. And the more I'm describing it, the more work it's sounding and the less I want to do it, because you do have to get the mouse and keyboard, find somewhere to put that, open up all the software and shit, and then get into the game. And then I don't know, it sounds like a lot of work, but I'm just trying to save some money. Point being, long-winded roundabout way to get back to the Clairo album is the Xbox 360. I still religiously play Skate 3. I play Skate 3. I mean, I've been playing it. I was off it for maybe a little bit when I kind of have a good setup, but I got a good setup again. So I've been running Skate 3. It's my favorite game of all time. A little known fact about me: Skate 3, best game of all time. It's my favorite game of all time. What I like about it is you can just sit there, turn your brain off, and it's just casual, and you can be as creative or not creative as you want, or as silly as you want, and blah blah blah. So what I like to do is because I don't know how people listen to albums. I think I always need moving around and doing something with my hands, but most of the time I consume music in my car. And even that's not great. Sometimes if I have that window down, you're not hearing everything, or a lot of times I'll listen to a podcast. But for the most part, I'll listen to music in my car. No one talks about this. When there's a new album coming out, do you sit there and listen to the whole album, and you just like sit there and hang out, or like do you sit there and close your eyes? Do you kind of lay down and like vibe out? I've done that for like 3 albums, but like I can't imagine, and maybe this is what's wrong with me, is just like sitting there for an hour and a half, and it's not even like a memory, not short-term memory. It's not even like a everyone stop texting me. Damn it. Short-term focus. What the fuck is that called? Attention span. Jesus Christ. It's not even an attention span thing. Because I can sit there and watch a 3-hour-long movie uninterrupted. Like, I'm pretty determined with my attention span to, like, keep it somewhat intact. I saw a TikTok earlier that had 2 gameplay videos on it, and that shit is scary. But anyway, so I don't know. Do people just like sit there or do they like, ooh, I'm gonna do a puzzle while listening to this new album, or build a Lego set, which like sounds like a really fun idea. But like you'll see like Fantano on his streams or whatever, and just kind of you sit there, or like this TikTok's like listening to every album so you don't have to, which is like a dumb title anyway. But or so you don't have to suffer through it. I've heard that title, which is fucking rude. But I don't know. What do you leave in the comments? If there's a new album coming out, how do you consume it? Are you doing something alongside it? Can you just sit there for like the 45 minutes to an hour and a half the album is and like consume it? Which is like, I think I'm coming across as if like that's like weird and not the way to do it. That's absolutely the way it can be and should be experienced. So again, long-winded Skate 3 Clairo is, if you couldn't tell what I was getting at, is I love sitting there with Skate 3 and then putting on an album in like my headphones or earbuds or whatever. And then you just zone out, because I can focus on the music while just having my like eyes and like hands stimulated, and I can listen to the whole album and consume it all, and it doesn't feel like an eternity while I'm like hitting a 360 flip over the fucking the shark thing in the auditorium. If you know, you know. You know what I'm talking about, all you Skate 3 heads out there. Surprisingly big community still out there. And it's coming back. We're all over the place here. We're all over the place. I'm not done with this section, but like the way I've stepped back and listened to my brain work, where we started on the Clairo album and then talked about PC gaming and then talked about Skate 3 and then rounded that all out, is I did see Inside Out 2 this weekend. I got a lot to say about that. A lot of great movie. 5 stars. Genuinely. But, you know, there's some Inside Out 2 characters in my brain running from one end to the other. And my problem is, I'll think of something like, ooh, that's interesting. It's like I got on Skate 3. I could talk about Skate 3 for 2 hours. And I'm talking about the Clairo album, but I want to talk about Skate 3. So then all of a sudden I got to do a Skate 3 tangent before I forget about it and blah, blah. Like I said, it's a real Inside Out 2 situation of they're just fucking arguing. Some of those characters aren't even there. I think there's like 3 anxiety characters that are like running around, and the joy character is like, holy fuck, relax. Can we talk about the Clairo album? Can we talk about the economic state of the world right now? The Jaden Smith video. Whoa. Anywho, so the Clairo album's good. But yeah. This was the point I was gonna make the whole fucking time about the Skate 3. The tragic part. Remember I said like the sad part about this is I went to do just that activity of sit down on my couch, play Skate 3, and listen to the whole Clairo album front to back. It was like 11:30 at night. Turn on the Xbox for the first time ever. And I played Skate 3 the day before. Turn on the Xbox. Disc unreadable. Uh-oh. Take the disc out, clean a little bit, no scratches. Been in mint condition since I got it. And when did Skate 3 come out? Like 2011, 2012? Even before then, something like that, 2010. Put it back in. no dice. People are going to hate me for this, but I was getting desperate. So I even like blew inside the Xbox, which probably didn't help. Tried a new game to see if it was Skate 3 that's fucked up. Nope. Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe also didn't work. Worked the night before. So I don't know. This Xbox might be toast. I've had this forever. I was gonna say something funny. I got the Xbox my parents divorced. Oh fuck! I call it my divorce Xbox. It was the first game. No, Skate 2. I got my mom let me get 2 games, and I got Skate 2. Which started this whole... It's going to be the origin story for this whole thing. Got Skate 2 and Sonic... Like, a really shitty Sonic game. Like, the shit didn't even work. I couldn't get past level 1 because Sonic wouldn't jump over the fucking wall or whatever. Then I think I got Wheelman with Vin Diesel. Great game. Really good game, I think. Unless I'm getting them mixed up. There's like 2 motorcycle games at that point. Oh, there's Stuntman and Wheelman. Wow. Do I still have those? Well, it doesn't fucking matter if my Xbox is broken. My guess is the disc reader shit the bed. Which, funny story about that. I think it's this Xbox. I've had this forever. This thing's been through a ringer. But when I was younger, I think the disc reader went originally. And naturally... You don't want to spend money on it. As anyone, as a parent, whatever. And I don't blame them. It's not like we had a ton of money to just spend on new Xbox every now and again. So like, they was like, let's get this fixed. So my dad hopped on Craigslist. He loves Craigslist. It runs in the family. My dad hops on Craigslist and finds like an Xbox repair place. And like, I think they do it for like, for some reason, my brain screams like $5. But I don't think that's right. I don't think it's that far from $5. Let's say $5 to $15. They would like fix it or clean it or like replace the whatever they did. I don't know if they replaced the part or they just cleaned it. Like I said, it was the disc reader, like the little laser, the eye or whatever. So anyway, long story short, me and my dad pull up to this sketchy part of town. And we pull up to this tough looking building. And, my dad, we pull up and in my head, I was like, I thought this was going to be a store. I thought this was going to be like a repair place. So we walk in, I think we knock on the door or whatever. And I was young at the time. So like everyone's kind of seems older at the time. But thinking back on it, it had to be like a 20 to 25-year-old kid opens the door. I'm almost positive it was his mom's place, which is fine. And it looked like a scene from Hoarders. Not like one of the extreme episodes. It'd be an episode of Hoarders that they like cut because it wasn't too sad. It wasn't like intense enough, but it's like still a problem. So we walk in and for some reason, I'll never forget this. The guy leads us into his bedroom and again, just like garbage everywhere. And he's got like old like PlayStation 1s and original Xbox just like stacked up to the ceiling. I don't know if these are like clients or clients might be too, might be giving him too much credit. This small business owner, this entrepreneur, but I'm talking all this shit. Nice guy, really nice guy. So anyway, the whole time my dad is like, "What the fuck am I getting my son into?" And I'll never forget it. We give him the Xbox. And I turned to my right, and there was just I could only imagine as a week old, just white dish with just old dirty dish of just pasta sauce and like some leftover pasta. And then the more I scanned around, the more of those similar looking bowls and plates that I came to discover. Anyway, gross, very unnerving. We give him the Xbox because, hey, I genuinely, the more I'm thinking about it, I swear it was $5. So at the end of the day, hey, $5 is a good deal. Drop it off, whatever. I think we went back to him the next day, picked it up. Boom, $5 bill. Here you go. Should have charged at least $20, and brought it home. And like I said, I'm talking all this shit to this guy and whatever, and shit was fixed. Xbox was working like new. Now, the disc tray stopped working. We'll say that. The disc tray stopped working, or it didn't stop working properly. Like I would kind of have to, and I still would have to do it to this day. You hit the eject button, and you gotta pry that sucker out a little bit. Still works though. He did reprimand me. Because I remember I brought it to my buddy Dan's house, and if he's watching this, he'll remember this story. And I was like, Dan, my Xbox is broken. I think the disc reader, whatever. And we had to have been. We were old enough to know better to do this, but we were still kind of young and stupid. I would say we were. I don't know. Oh, I'm bad with this. I would say anywhere between like 14. Did I have my car at that point? 14 to 17, which is like a very different, a very different life experience between all those ages. But I don't know. We were young. Brought my Xbox over. Me and him took it apart. We popped the top off, and we found the disc reader. And he brings out, not blaming him, this is also me. I or him. It was both of our collective ideas. Just got some paper towels, just some brawny paper towels. I don't know if we used any like Windex or spray or whatever. That might have made it worse, but I do remember vividly using this scratchy ass paper towel. And this is going to make all like the tech people or the gaming people cringe. And we took that paper towel and we just started wiping and cleaning that disc reader, that eye. So I think that made it worse. Because I remember going to the guy. I know it made it worse. I remember going to the guy, and I think I either volunteered this information or he asked. But either way, I said to him, oh yeah, I tried cleaning it and I just used a paper towel. And the guy was like, oh no. He was like devastated that I made the problem worse. But anyway, he fixed it. Like I said, he fixed it. A little bit of repercussions the Xbox had in itself with like the shit not fully working. But like, I was getting nervous that I was going to get it back and the whole shit was going to be like modded, and it'd be like I thought I was going to get like a jailbroken Xbox 360 back from this guy. But so shout out him. I hope he's doing well. I hope he cleaned his room. But God, that was all about the Clairo album. That's crazy. Second recommendation is Deadstock, the album by Devin Malik. Not all these. Well, this one's not going to have a tangent. The next one's going to have a tangent. Deadstock by Devin Malik. Listened to this a few times. Favorite song on it right now is PDA. I guess he's a close collaborator with Schoolboy Q. He's on the Blue Lips album. I guess he did a lot of production on there. He's on a couple songs on Blue Lips. Schoolboy Q also features on the first track of this. It's good. It's a very, very like, I don't know, it's a very unique rap album. The production choices are very unique. I don't know. I just can't. That's the best word I can describe. It's good. That's another word I can use. Just good and unique. If you liked Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q, and you like kind of that, like, the term for it used to be like weirdo rap. Like Schoolboy Q used to be in this like weirdo rap. It was during like the blog era. But like, I don't know if that fits your fancy. Childish Gambino album. Buckle up. Buckle up. Also, the new Joker trailer dropped 4 hours ago. So we might run that. Every time I start this podcast, all 4 times, all 3 times prior, I'm like, I do notes and I get beats I want to talk about and topics, and I'm like, this is gonna be like 15 minutes. I'm not gonna have anything to talk about. Oh my god! And then like, I forget how my brain works. And then all of a sudden, we're on 6 different tangents, and we're 25 minutes in, and we've talked about one thing I want to talk about. But Gambino album, I got a story about that kind of connects to this. But album alone, Bando Stone and the New World. First of all, I love it. For those that don't know, I'm a huge Childish Gambino guy, huge Donald Glover guy. It's a question. This is a question I ask on a lot of first or second dates, which you can steal this if you want. I thought it was more commonplace than I thought, but the few people I asked it to didn't really know what it was. But you ask, who's your Mount Rushmore of like people and influences? And you got to kind of preface it by saying like it's like lean more pop culture, because then you know one person's gonna be like, oh, like, I don't know, so and so, like some pop culture, some like actor, like someone, you know, it could be like Matt Damon's on my whatever, and then you go back and forth, and the next person's gonna say, oh, well, that's funny, well, I don't know, Abraham Lincoln is on mine. You know what I mean? And then it all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, now I feel shitty for picking my stupid actor or whatever. So you got to preface it by like pop culture or like art or like that sort of thing. So I always ask, like, who's on your Mount Rushmore? And it's interesting to hear, because it's a lot of musicians, and it'll be like maybe an actor or whatever, or it'll be like just different like artists or whatever, which it's always interesting to hear. But Childish Gambino and Tyler Creator are always two that do not move from mine. And who else is, there's another one that's always on mine. Childish Gambino, Tyler Creator. I think, and it's like, the idea is like, it's less of like, it's like, who do you think shaped you is kind of what it is. Like, who's like the Mount Rushmore of your like personality is kind of what it's supposed to be. So I think Rob Dyrdek sneaks his way on there from time to time. Tina Fey's been known to show up on there. Oh, Rey Mysterio. I think that's my main 3. Is Donald Glover, Tyler Creator, Rey Mysterio, and it's always fun to like swap out the 4th person every now and again. But anyway, the new album, Bando Stone, The New World, I think it's fantastic. I haven't gotten as much time with it as I want, but so far, big fan. I think it's his best, maybe a hot take. I think it's his best since Because of the Internet. Because of the Internet, one of my favorite albums of all time. I like Awaken My Love. It's not my favorite. Did he win a Grammy for that? I think he won a Grammy for that. It's not my favorite. What else did he put out after that? The 13, the one with the dates, was fine. Came out in COVID. There's some takeaways on it. Still didn't love it. And then he re-released it with some different mix choices and some different vocal selections called Activisa. Didn't love that. Didn't hook me. So I'm kind of off the Gambino train, or the new Gambino, for like a little bit. Like, I would still go back. My favorites are still, projects-wise, are still Because of the Internet, Royalty, which I think is really slept on. I feel like a lot of people don't know about that. Kauai and Stone Mountain EP, which I saw in a record store the other day, which I got a hot take about record stores if we have time. Camp has a special place in my heart. I know it doesn't age well and maybe isn't like super great, but like Bonfire and Heartbeat, and that's another one. Freaks and Geeks is on the EP. I love the EP. EP is better than Camp. Cul-de-sac is better than both of those. I forget the name of the song I'm thinking of. No, I don't got it. Anyway, Really good album. Just watched the music video for Lithonia. Shit's crazy. I'm excited for the short film. So I was talking to my buddy Spencer about this earlier today. Is it going to be a feature film? Don't know. Is it a short film? I guess in the Hot Ones interview, which I got to go back to that. I only watched, or like really paid attention like the first half of it. He started talking about Community, which also has a special place in my heart. So I really want to hone in and make sure I get everything from that interview possible. Sorry, what are we doing here? Sorry. I guess his son, he keeps his family pretty private. I guess he has a son named Legend, which is fucking sick. And he's featured on, what's the song called? Hold on. Can You Feel Me? Featuring Legend. Really, really good. Son, I mean, it is all like, it is all auto-tune based. And obviously, I'm sure Donald Glover, like, wrote his son's verse, or at least, like, did most of it, and then kind of directed him on how to, like flows and stuff and whatever. But with that said, it's good. It sounds good. It doesn't sound like a 7-year-old trying to sing. Like, it sounds polished, and, like, it's a good listen. It's not like it's like I feel like a lot of times songs like that, like, you know, featuring my 5-year-old son or whatever, can feel like gimmicky, or like, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I guess gimmicky is as close to I'm gonna get. But this is like a legit novelty. Novelty is what I'm thinking of. A lot of those can feel like a novelty, and you're just kind of listening to it because it's like, this is fun to listen to it the first time. But like, I'm not ultimately gonna keep going back to this. It's one of my favorites on the album. It really is. When's the full thing coming out? Have I even seen the trailer? Apparently the trailers are playing in theaters, which is sick. But I got a story about Gambino. He's one of the first concerts I've ever been to. He's the second concert I've been to. First concert I've ever been to was Kid Cudi headlining for his album Indicud. And I still have the t-shirt. I should sell it because I don't wear it ever. But it's this bright yellow t-shirt. It's a Hulkamania play, to be honest. Bright yellow t-shirt with the red Hulkamania text that says Indicud on it. It's a sick t-shirt. It's just a little bright for me these days. I don't know how much those are going for, but it's in good condition. It's a good t-shirt. An opening for him was Wolf era Tyler, the Creator. That was the first time I saw Tyler. I think Wolf just came out or was coming out. Remember, he had a cast on his foot. He broke his foot, so he was like performing with like crutches and with a broken foot. And then Logic, Under Pressure. This is Young Sinatra mixtape era Logic. And he was as big as he is now. And this was, what year was this? This had to be 2011 to 2013. I think the Gambino concert had to be 2013. Because that's when Because the Internet came out, and that was the tour he was on for it. So this concert was either early 2013 or like 2012, 2011 or something like that. Fun show. Tyler's set got cut short because it was at this venue that's all seating. It was outside, but it was all seating. Cool venue, but not the best for a rap show. And that was early Tyler, so he's used to smaller venues and moshing. That's like prime. It's like prime, maybe almost close to getting out of their prime, Odd Future, where their whole shit is like, you know, fuck this and mosh pits and blah, blah, blah and whatever. So there's one point where him and Jasper tell everyone to get out of their seats and basically rush the stage. He was like 3 songs in, and he tells everyone to just come up to the stage. Not like rush the stage and get on it, but he's like, everyone just come up to the front and basically create like a standing zone or whatever. I think that lasted for half of a song, and they cut his audio. They kicked him off stage, and Kid Cudi had to come out And he was like, hey guys, I know we all want Tyler out. They're not letting him perform and they're kicking him out and they're ending his set. And they might even end the whole show if you don't go back to your seat. It's a safety issue, blah, blah. So Kid Cudi had to be like, please everyone go back to their seat. And security, like, or the venue or whatever, weren't even going to bring Tyler back on. They're like, he's done. But like Kid Cudi being the headliner was like, let him play 3 more songs. So he came out, he played Tamale. Either played Tamale or he finished Tamale. That might have been the song that he rushed everyone with. And a couple other songs, I forget. And then he was like, he kind of just went like, my bad, I didn't know this was going to be as big of a fuck up as I thought it was going to be. So anyway, good concert. Kid Cudi was really good. What was interesting about Logic is what I was going to say. As big as he is, it was interesting to see how respectfully, because at the level he was playing when like people were getting there. So like there was barely anyone there. He was playing while people were getting to their seats. I remember that was when All I Do Was popping. All I do is rum. All I do is with the deep voice. That was when his Miss Jackson verse was really hot. I remember. I think he played that. Solid show. But anyway, Gambino, second concert ever, and this was in Boston. And I've never been like really like in the city of Boston at this point. Like I said, we were kids. We were 13. No, we weren't 13. It was 2013. And I was 15 or 16. I went with my buddy who was a little his family was pretty financially well off. So they'd go to like Celtics games all the time and whatever. So I was under the impression that like he knew Boston. So I was like, oh, perfect. Like I'm going to follow his lead. This is awesome. And first of all, great show. I'll talk about the show a little bit before like the story. Great show. One of the best concerts I've ever been to. I bought a sweatshirt there that shrunk and I could never wear it, which I'm really bummed about. Bad t-shirt. Bad merch of that show. I'll say that. We were up in the balcony, though. And I'm singing every word. He does the entirety of Because of the Internet. And after that, he does the album. And then he's like, all right, well, now I'm doing, like, old stuff. So he did, like, Freaks and Geeks. He did, I forget the name of it, but the Adele sampled song that's, like, really early. He did Bonfire, a bunch of camp hits. He did Heartbeat. And then what freaked me out, one of my favorite projects to this day of him is his mixtape Cul-de-sac, which came out before Camp, came out before the EP. And it's his like, I guess I don't know if you call it breakout, but it's his first like, I think project that he would probably argue he stands on. Because before then, he had his first mixtapes, this is like him in college, his first mixtapes were Poindexter, and I forget the name of the other one. Poindexter and something. Real, like, early stuff. And then after that was I Am Just a Rapper and I Am Just a Rapper 2, which then you start to get into, like, okay, these songs are getting better. And there might have been one or two other mixtapes around then. And then it was Cul-de-sac. And this had, like I said, the Adele sampled song, but also had the song So Fly. And it's like he does it in like this like high falsetto. And it's like, girl, you're so fly, girl, you're so fly. And he goes, I'm not going to do it. My voice is cracked already, but me, you know what I'm saying? And I remember doing it, or him doing it, and we were next to these two girls. And then one of the girls leans into me as I'm like singing every song to So Fly. And then she's like, what song is this? Is this new? Is this unreleased? And I'm like, no, it's So Fly. It's off his mixtape Cul-de-sac and da-da. And so I'm singing all the Cul-de-sac words. I know all the songs to Camp and blah, blah. And kind of after that section, does his crowd work. And he's like, oh, thank you, Boston. I know you're fucking with me and da-da-da. And this section right here is messing with me. This section right here. And he goes, that section up there has really been fucking with me, been singing every single word. and is pointing. We're like in the corner of the balcony. He's pointing up there. And he's kind of waiting for a reaction. I didn't know he was pointing at me or at our section. And I point back and I kind of point, like me, like do one of those things, like me. And I kind of wave to him. I wave me. And he goes, still pointing, waves back and goes, yeah, you, that corner right there. I lost my fucking mind. Oh my God. Again, I was like, what? 15, 16. It's my favorite artist. Community's my favorite TV show. This guy is he's my, I don't want to be hyperbolic. I was going to say the word God, but that feels a little much. But he's my inspiration. This guy is like my favorite guy, favorite everything, favorite artist, whatever. Freaked out. One of the best moments of my life. And then, so after the show, we get let out and we took the train in. And again, this is my first time in true, like, downtown Boston. And I'm full like, all right, man, where are we going? Buddy goes, oh, this way. First sign should have been, and again, I don't have the wherewithal of like crowds or public transportation or really events to like know better at this time. My buddy goes, oh, this way for sure. We go that way. And what I should have picked up on is we were walking in the immediate opposite direction of everyone else. Everyone else comes out of the venue. They take a right. We take a left. Perfect. Mind you, at this time, I think it's also like, let's say it's like, I think that there were different rules back then in terms of like shows getting out on time, I'm pretty sure. I want to say this was like, it was after 11:30. I don't know if it's midnight yet. It had to be about midnight, actually. It had to be about midnight. Or at least, I don't know. Anyway, so we're walking. And we had to have been walking for easily a mile until I'm kind of eventually like, and there's no one around. Now we're just in like a neighborhood. We're not near like any venues or bars or a train. And I'm like, hey, man, are you sure? Like, how much farther? And I think my buddy just kind of hit me with like oh, I'm not sure. Maybe I've been following you, but I don't think he said that. So now I'm realizing we're lost. And lost, again, this is in the mind of like a 15 or 16-year-old where like in reality, we just like, we walked in a straight line the whole time. And we, not being lost anymore is turning around. But like in my head, I don't know the train is the exact opposite direction. So I'm like thinking it's going to be like, and there are a little bit like, you got to take this turn. You got to take this turn. So we just been walking straight in the wrong direction for what had to be about 15 or 20 minutes. So finally I'm like, man, we got to just ask someone. Like we got to pop into a store here. So there was a 7-Eleven that we came across. And at this point now I'm taking the reins. And I don't know what to do, but I'm taking the reins here. And I'm like, all right, let's pop in the 7-Eleven. Let's ask the clerk. So we go in and I'm like, hey, we're lost. We've never really been here before. Where's the train? Are we anywhere near it? Whatever. And he goes, the train. And he's like, oh, that's like the exact opposite direction. I think we told him like, yeah, we've been walking this way. And he's like, oh, you've been walking the wrong direction the whole time. The train is back where you came, past the venue that you were at. It's just in the other direction. And I'm like, oh no. And like I said, at this point, it's like past midnight. I'm like, oh no. So I walk out and I'm looking around and my buddy's not there. And the clerk told us, again, I think at this time, some of these numbers might be wrong, but for the sake of the story, it's like 12:15, 12:20 in the morning. The last train runs at like 12:30, 12:35 is the last train of the night. So I'm like, oh, we're fucked. If we don't get this train, if we don't get there in time, we're stranded, and one of us has to ruin our parents' weeks or whatever by calling them at 12:30 a.m. to be like, hey, we're stranded in Boston. This is also like pre-Uber and pre-whatever. Again, we're also like 15 or 16, so like I don't think we had like a debit card or credit cards or anything. We don't know how to hail a taxi. So I'm like, we're fucked. We're screwed. So I'm like, we gotta go. I get outside. I'm like ready to basically run 2 miles to the train. And I look around. My buddy's not there. I look inside. And this pissed me off still today. He's buying a snack and like a soda. And I'm like, man, what are you doing? And he was just like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm like, what are we doing? We're going to be late to the train. So he buys his shit. And I'm like, all right, we got to go. So we run / probably speed walk most of the way. And we're weaving in and out of people. And now, we pass the venue and we're looking at the time. Like, okay, we got 10 minutes. We got 5 minutes until the last, I don't think we looked up like what time the last train was arriving. We just knew the station was closing at a certain time. I'll never forget it. We got there. And I want to pause and say again, we were like 15 or 16. So like, obviously I'm sure there's like logical solutions here. But like when you're 15 or 16, you're stuck in a city you've never been in. And you don't know how you're going to get home and like whatever, all you have is the money in your pocket. You're freaking out, so we're like, oh shit. Like I said, I'll never forget it. We found somehow by the grace of fucking God, we find the train station, the correct one. And I'll never forget. We ran down the steps, and as my feet hit the bottom of the platform to where like the train comes in. As my feet hit the bottom, the last train of the night rolls in. And we get on the train and boom, we're fine. We're on the train. We're good. We can go home. We're not stranded in Boston. But I'll never forget just the second my feet touched that platform, the train pulled in. And what's a train stay there for? 3 minutes? If we kept walking like any longer or got held up at the 7-Eleven any longer, like I said, that's why like my friend buying the snack was like crazy. The margin of, oh my God, we were almost stranded. Scary. And the second I sat down, the sigh of relief that I sighed, sat down just. But anyway, so Gambino, Donald Glover, always had a special place in my heart. Like I said, this new album, I'm fully back. I don't think he was going to leave my Mount Rushmore, but he was getting knocked down. Because like I said, my favorite album is Because of the Internet. That was 2013. He hadn't really put out anything that blew me away or that I really resonated with since. This album I'm liking a lot. Like I said, I want to spend some more time with it, but so far I'm a fan. So far I'm a fan. For sure. All right, we got a couple of things to get to. Might be the last topic. Wow, we are cruising here. 50 minutes. Good for me. Like I said, every single time. I don't think I'm going to hit it, but I do. All right, I got a couple things. Inside Out 2. I think we're going to go to Inside Out 2 because I want to talk about Io at a Beery. Io at a Beery. I think that's how you say her name. There's a couple smaller things. I went to the driving range. Did shitty. I need to get new clubs. I need to get a new bag. All my shit is from the flea market, which I'm too prideful at this point, especially because of my level. I'm getting more and more into it. Like I said, my buddy Dan is like fully a golf guy, always been. And I'm like going with him more and more. And I'm liking it. It's the most I've liked it ever right now. But but I'm still not like into it enough to justify spending crazy money. It's already expensive to go. So I'm sure like better equipment will like be easier to play with. Like I'm sure there's, I'm fully aware I'm about to come off pretty ignorant to the sport, but I just can't bring myself to like drop like $100 or $80 like a brand new club, and you need fucking 12 of those puppies and a bag. So all my shit is from the thrift store. You can get a good bag at a thrift store too. I think I had 2 bags. Well, as I say, I've been through 2 bags. I need a bag because the legs on it, like, I don't know if they're all the same. I don't think they are, but like my bag has, when you set it down, you kind of set it down in a way where this mechanism will trigger and the legs will kick out and you can kind of like hold it there with the legs out. That broke recently. So that's fucked. So, and I wear it on my back, like the shit, all the metal and like the contraption is all fucked. So it's like hitting my knee as I'm walking, or my back, not my knee, the back of my leg. So that's not fun. Can't really walk a course with that. Also, I'm realizing I'm missing some clubs. I think I don't have a 5. I don't have a 5 iron, I don't think. But I mainly use I'm running a 7 basically the whole day. I was practicing driving a lot, because driving I'm really bad at. And also like I get stage fright when I drive. So like I was basically driving, and I'm getting better. But like every single, I just, there's still like the sticker on my driver at the end of the driver that's not fully peeled off from the thrift store. So you can, I think it still says like $3.99 on it or whatever. But I need to go to the thrift store and pick up a new bag and maybe some new clubs. I'm at the point now, I need to upgrade my setup a little bit, right? So it's at least respectable. So I'm past the point of being like, I'm still pretty new to it. I'd still call myself a novice, but I've been too many times and want to keep going, where now I need to at least like maybe upgrade it or invest in like a club like brush, because like all my shit has mud in it. I should probably get a new glove, because I've been cleaning off, all the golfers in the chat are gonna be cringing, but like I didn't know until recently that you shouldn't clean off your golf head of mud with your glove. So I've been doing that. My glove's dirty. Like I said, all my shit is full of mud. So I got a golf trip, but also you can find and I don't know what's good or not. Like, I think I have some Spalding clubs. I don't know if I have any like Titleists or nothing, but like if I see a brand I recognize at the thrift store, it's good enough for me. I don't know if they're working good enough for me. I'm sure my driver's shitty, but like, I don't know. Good enough for me. That's kind of where I'm at so far. Found a nice Wilson tennis racket at thrift store. That seems like it's like the exact same one that like Zendaya. I'm sure it's not the exact same one, but it's basically the exact same one that Zendaya has in Challengers. It's like the red has the red W. It looks fucking sick. Haven't put that puppy to use, but I got that thing for like $5.99. Let's look it up. How much are Wilson tennis racket? I'm gonna say what? Oh, there's a whole market that I know nothing about here. What the fuck? Okay. So I'm seeing some. This might be. It looks like the Wilson Federer. It's also a red one that looks similar to the one I got. $27 on Amazon. Adult recreational racket. But then you go up to like the pro rackets, and you're looking at $150. This one's $230. This makes no sense to me, dude. This makes no sense to me. All right. A mainline one, I guess, isn't as expensive as I thought. But if you want to get a pro one, like with everything, it's going to cost you upwards of $150. That's crazy. How much is a good driver? Good. I kind of know the answer to this, but I'm also just curious so we were in the clubhouse yesterday looking at shit. Wow. I mean, yeah, this shit's going to run you like, holy shit, a TaylorMade for $300. A used TaylorMade for $200. Wow. Ping for $400. This is fucked. This is fucked. Wow. Like I said, I just can't. Complete set for 400. I feel like the complete sets though are like you're buying the complete set and you just get like you get mediocre everything. That's my guess. You get mediocre everything as opposed to like buying good stuff individually. It's the same thing with like getting like a complete skateboard instead of billing it and whatever. Like the benefit is it's a little cheaper, get everything at once, but the trucks might not be as good. The bearings might not be as good. You're gonna get like a cool Baker deck, but like you might not. The grip tape might be shitty or like whatever. That's interesting, huh? But anyway, real quick, because I already talked about it on the Stash Club Patreon, but Inside Out 2, this will be the last one we're gonna talk about. I'll tell you what's being left off the table. Maybe this is a topic for next week. I was at the flea market, posted a couple wrestling tees I saw. I'm thinking of it. Thinking of becoming a watch guy. I don't know. I already got this friendship bracelet on my wrist that my friend Christine made me. I don't know. Watch guy seems to... I feel like I gotta hit 30. I feel like I can't be weighed down in my 20s with a watch. And I don't even want nothing like big and clunky. I want something like, I don't know, I guess the term is dainty. For lack of a better term, I guess. I also have like arm hair, so I've had those like watches, those metal ones that like they like contract and like what I'm saying, it's like a one size fits all and they're like stretchy, but it pulls on my hairs. So I feel like if I were to get one, I'd get a nice like leather one, like a leather strap, then maybe a square watch face. I don't know. I was thinking about diving into it at the flea market I went to. They had a bucket of like shitty watches. For like $15 if you just want, that's kind of where I would have started. There was nothing that caught my eye. There's a few upgraded ones. I know this is all cheap relative to watches, but there was some like 30, I think it was some 25, 40, and maybe like $60 or $70 ones. Some nice ones, but like I'm not there with the investment yet. I'm not there. I need a shitty $15 one to ride it out to see if I get any compliments on it. See if I get any like, ooh, hey, John's a watch guy now. Hey, here comes, hey, what time is it? Oh, this guy. This isn't my joke. I could have just stole this. But the guys who I was like looking at the watches next to, they're making a joke. They were trying the watch and they were like, yeah, I want people to say like, oh, this guy knows what time it is. Oh, look at this guy. He's got the time. This guy knows what time it is. Oh, that was funny. I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know how much wrist stuff I can do because I like a bracelet every now and again. I also have this like silver bracelet I wear sometimes, but right now the real estate's taken up by the friendship bracelet. Guess I could go watch on the same arm. I don't know. It's a conundrum. It's always something. I'll tell you this. It's always something like that. And this month it's watches. But I don't see myself getting into like, I don't think I'm going to be like a Rolex guy. I mean, like, that's less of me. This is my financial talking that I can't be a Rolex guy. I don't know. Something about a watch. There's something about a watch I don't like. There's something about a watch I do like. I think it ages you up a little bit. That's why it feels like like when I think watch, I think 30-year-old. And I'm 28, so we're getting close. But I feel like once I'm 30, I'm gonna have a watch. When you're 30, you wake up with a watch on your wrist. You know what I mean? So looking forward to that. Maybe just ride out the next 2 years watchless. I think once you go watch, you never come back. So I don't know. What were we talking about? Inside Out 2. Fantastic. Io Beery as Envy, the highlight. I think you might think that I'm being sarcastic about loving this movie. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. Inside Out 1 was one of the best movies I've ever seen. I loved it. I think I also watched it at a pretty vulnerable time. I think I was pretty sad at this point. I was definitely sad when I watched it. And it just, it fucking hit. Oh, it fucking hit, brother. Been excited for Inside Out 2 ever since. Especially knowing that, like, anxiety was being added, bro. So here's this might be the, I kind of thought about this. This might be the, don't be surprised you see this on TikTok. Hold on. With the episodes that don't have like a hot pop culture topic or like a Lumberlend topic, I have no idea what to clip off because it's just an hour of me fucking talking about just fucking whatever. So I just clip off like 3 to 4 random like 1 minute of me just yapping. Like the Gambino story might get cut into one. Anyway, that's 2 Inside Baseball. Inside Out 2. Ooh, excuse me. What kind of opened my eyes is... Ooh, excuse me. All right, sorry, that was gross. That was a burp. I've learned countless times that a sparkling, bubbly water here is not the best drink to have on a medium where you got to talk for an hour because of the carbonation. But I'll never learn my lesson. I'll never give them up. So here's the thing about Inside Out 2. Here's the thing that kind of opened my eyes while watching Inside Out 2. Anxiety. Shout out Anxiety. Loved the character. Fantastic. Not as much as Envy. Envy was hilarious. But I found myself multiple times during the film agreeing and feeling comfortable with a lot of the decisions that Anxiety made. And obviously the point in those in the writing there was like, oh, these are anxiety-driven decisions, and these are examples of the wrong thing. Like, for example, this isn't a spoiler, but the girl that the whole story kind of follows, her friends, they're going off to hockey camp. Her and her 2 friends are going off to hockey camp, and her 2 friends kind of let her know, oh, the next school year is coming. We're not going to the same middle school as you or high school or whatever it is. We're going to be going to a different school far away, so we're not going to see each other every day. So she's like bummed out. And the idea now is like, oh, this is going to be our last hoorah as friends, our last like big, our last time being on the same hockey team and our last time whatever. But there's the cool girl, I forget what her name was, who was kind of like, she was like the best on the team, on the varsity or whatever team. And the girl really, really envied her. So there's one decision where it's basically like, you know, which path, it was like a choose your own adventure. Which path you going on? Are you going to go hang out with your 2 best friends who, like, you know, they kind of laid on some pretty heavy news on you and whatever, but they're still your best friends, and the goal of this whole trip is to be on the same team in one last hurrah? Or do you go with the older, new, cool girl because she is a pro on the not pro, but she's on the varsity team? Could be a new group of friends because your old group of friends are leaving you. Could be a new group of friends. And also one of your goals is get on the varsity team. So she ends, and I realize this is wrong. She ends up going with, in this scene, with the popular girl, and her friends kind of look back and are like, aw. And in that moment, my anxiety-riddled brain kind of went, good move, smart move, safe move, good move. Yep, I get that. And I that happened like 2 or 3 times, and I kind of had to stop myself and realize like, oh, that's written in there because that's the wrong decision. And that's the lesson. So from this children's movie, I did learn a lesson, and I sat there and I was like, oh, oops. Ooh, I shouldn't have been so satisfied and feeling safe with the anxiety decision, because that's not the point there. There's, like I said, there was a couple other decisions where I was like, smart, plan for the future, smart. That's the safe one. That's the safe route. When the obviously right answer was no. Go with the last hoorah with your friends. So, and in the end, everyone is friends anyway. It's a Pixar movie, But yeah, that was kind of one of the moments in the film that I was like, oh, I'm relating to this for the wrong reason. Woo. What are we at? All right. I think that's this week's episode. I'm going to leave you with this. I got a new book this weekend. I've been meaning to crack it open. I got Fly Already by Edgar Carrot. It's a bunch of short stories. I've never read a book that's short stories, and I've kind of been off the book train for a while. One could argue I've really never been on it. But the last book I finished was like, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago. I finished this book called Chain Gang All Stars. Really, really good book. Little dystopian. Really, really good though. Excuse me. But I've been struggling to kind of it's the same thing with like, I haven't started season 3 of The Bear. It's just a commitment. Where's the commitment issues emotion in Inside Out, huh? Maybe commitment issues will be in Inside Out 3. But anyway, point being, short story book. I think this will be easier to like get into because it's not as big of a commitment as like, okay, now I'm like jumping on for this story, and I read books slow, so like not like but like from in between like reading times. Like I'll read a chapter or two one day, then a week and a half will go by, and I'll read another chapter. So I think this will get me to like casually read more because it's less of a commitment. It's a bunch of short stories, so like I can get the beginning, middle, and end of a story in like one chapter, and you know it's not like I don't gotta remember like. So if, like for instance, I was gonna read, which I hear it's very highly acclaimed, but I was deeper than I thought, to be honest. The Girls by Emma Cline I was reading, and what page am I on? Ooh, not that far actually. Page 63. I started reading at the beach, and it's interesting. It's a little bit of a tougher read. It's kind of the verbiage is a little heavy, and it's been so long since I've opened it again that I am gonna be lost. I'm not gonna know what the fuck is going on. I don't know. So that's why I got these two in the chamber. I think I'm gonna jump to the short story one, and then if that kind of gets me back in the rhythm, I'll jump back to The Girls. I do want to read it. Some of my friends have read it. But yeah. So that's this week's John's book club recommendation, as well as basically what is a long-winded John's album recommendation. Let me know what you think. Did you see Inside Out 2? Have you listened to the Gambino album? Have you read Fly Already by Edgar Carrot or The Girls by Emma Cline? Let me know. Leave your questions. Leave your comments. Something I should have plugged at the top of this. Kind of Stubborn is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can ignore the Apple Podcasts, but Spotify, that's where I see the numbers. So we're over there. If next time you are more of an audio listener, we're on there. Again, should have plugged that at the top. That's for next episode, I guess. Leave a like. Make sure you're subscribed. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Leave some questions or comments for next episode. If I set up an email, it's in the description. Make sure you follow me on everything. Got a handful of followers on Instagram because we posted a Sophie video on Stash Club. So everyone goes in the description to find her her at, even though I put it in the video. So I always get it. And then they see me and Dante's at. I'm like, well, might as well follow them if I'm following Sophie. Damn, we didn't run the Joker trailer. Maybe for the better. I'm nervous about it being a musical. Maybe we'll do that next week. Maybe we won't. Let's see what Fantano scored the new Denzel Curry album. Did he review Bando yet? He gave Denzel an 8. Didn't see that one coming. Oh, I didn't do... what do you give the Clairo album? Sorry, this is just me just now browsing the internet on camera. 7? Interesting. He didn't have Jonah as his favorite track? What the fuck? What is Sophistipop? Sophistopop? Is that like sophisticated pop? What the fuck kind of genre is that? What? Sophistopop is a pop music genre that developed during the mid-1980s out of the British New Wave era. It originated with acts who blended elements of jazz, soul, and pop with lavish production. The term Sophistopop was coined only after the genre's peak in the mid to late 1980s. Whoa. Roxy Music, Sade, Swing Out Sister. Never even heard of this. Blue Nile. I didn't know that had like a name. And the description fits the Clairo album. Sophistopop is categorized by its extensive use of electronic keyboard synthesizers and polished arrangements. Artists also utilize cutting-edge studio technology and perfectionist recording methods. Okay. The genre has been described as mellow, romantic, atmospheric, with artists often... Huh. I guess you wouldn't... That's kind of what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about it. I guess you wouldn't... Like, it's so polished now, you definitely wouldn't classify this album as bedroom pop, even though it's kind of been her bag for years. But this doesn't feel like bedroom pop anymore. That's wild. The jazz influence makes sense. All right. Sorry, that was a little traditional. John just browses the internet for the last 5 minutes of the podcast. All right, thank you for watching. I'm gonna let you go. Bye.